Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining the Stock Martin channel. I have another great video for you today. We are going to be talking about the CCIV merger with Lucid and the news out there about possible share dilutions. This is a second video that I'm making about this topic. I have received a lot of questions from my viewers that I did want to clarify and answer your questions. I think you will find this video very helpful. But before we dive in, please, if you can give me that thumbs up button, the like button, it'll share this video with others. Also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit all so you can get all my videos, and leave me a comment down below that you subscribed, and I'll give you a shout out at the end of my videos. The main purpose I wanted to make this video, again, I wanted to talk about the CCIV Lucid shares and the proposed dilution of these shares going from 500 million shares to 15 billion shares and how this could affect the company and the shareholder. Again, I think you're really going to like this video, so let's dive right in. So the article that this has come out in is according to this financial article that says, yes, CCIV is dramatically boosting its authorized share capital, and no, this is definitely not bearish for Lucid Motors. So let's talk about a little bit more about this news that just came out. So just recently, CCIV has filed the form 424B3, and let's take a look at what this new form does. It calls for an increase in CCIV authorized number of shares to go from 501 million to 15 billion. So let's see what this actually means. So this means that if this is passed, there will be an increase in CCIV authorized share capital, but let's take a look at what an authorized share is and the difference between this. So in order to understand what this article is talking about, we need to really understand what an outstanding stock is and an authorized stock. Basically, the authorized stocks are usually higher than the outstanding stocks. So again, in this case, the authorized stocks would be a potential of 15 billion stocks. However, the outstanding stocks will be a lot lower. So what is the significance of this? Well, the number of authorized stocks is useful information for the company management, but has no relevance to investors. So you cannot access the authorized stocks until they start trading. So what this means is that Lucid Motors will have the potential to release these stocks out to customers, but they have not enacted to do this. This can be good and bad, and we'll talk about that in the next few slides. So a company may increase its authorized stocks if it needs to raise additional capital for either operations or strategic acquisitions. So again, this is very important. This proposal is going to be increasing the authorized stocks. So in the future, Lucid Motors does not have to get approval to start raising capital. And why would they want to do this? Well, they might want to do this to start building facilities, to fast produce their vehicles and their production line. So they will need a lot of money for this. This is a potential for them to do this. What the difference is outstanding shares and outstanding stocks are the actual stocks that are issued and traded within investors. So the stocks that are out there right now are known as the outstanding stocks. So if we go back and look at this article, CCIV is proposing for authorized shares to go up from 501 million to 15 billion. So these aren't actual stocks or outstanding stocks that are going to be traded. These are potential stocks in the future that CCIV Lucid Motors will have the authorization to implement if they need to. It's very important for investors to know that these are authorized stocks, and it's simply an enabling measure, and it does not need to be fully utilized. And who utilizes it or who activates these shares will be Lucid Motor. So instead of repeatedly going to investors in the future and asking for new shares of stock, what they can now do is activate these shares at any time. So they can do this as, again, to raise money to build facilities. They can make money to pay their employees, and they could also get money to pay their executives. So you can see where the good news and bad news is. So if Lucid Motors uses this money wisely and to invest in their own company, to invest in the production of their vehicles, into the production of their facilities and facilities worldwide. I know Saudi Arabia is looking to build some Lucid Motor manufacturing plants as well. So if they use this money to make production vehicles there, this will help investors in the long term. Now, where it could go on the very downside and it could be very negative is if Lucid Motors abuses this authorized shares and use them to either pay themselves big money or pay their employees. So definitely I could see why people and investors would be kind of scared about this, because to sum this up, an authorized share is not a bearish factor on its own. It's only a matter in which the facility would be used that would dictate if it's bearish or bullish. So again, it's up to Lucid Motors to see how they use this money and how they use this new stocks with their company. This article mentions that Lucid Motors will aggressively expand their company and they need to raise capital in the next few years. So this article is telling us that this outstanding shares shouldn't be changed until the next few years. And this is especially true that Lucid Motors will not be profitable until the year 2025. So if we look at this chart, it looks at their expected revenue from this year, 2021, all the way to the year 2030. And these are all estimated. And as you can see that they should be free cash flow by the year 2025. They should have a positive net income by the year 2025. And they should have starting to make big revenues by the year 2025. Now, if this company is smart and they use this money wisely and they use it to, in the benefit of Lucid Motors, to increase productions, to increase the volume of vehicles, then this could potentially be their positive cash flow could be earlier than the year 2025. Would this be good for investors? In the long run, yes, because the company will be more profitable, will be making more vehicles, so this will be good for the investor long term. Where it could be bad is if Lucid Motors starts using these authorized shares and they exercise these shares to convert them to be outstanding. Well, this can dilute amount of money or the amount of ownership that you have in the company. So to explain this, let me show you this. So this is just an example. So let's say we have a company and we'll call it, okay, ZZ Lucid Motor Company. Well, this shows us before the dilution and after the dilution. So let's say, to make math easy, that Lucid Motors has a total company of shares of 100, and they're going to double their amount of acquired shares to 200. So let's say you're an investor and you own 10 shares of Lucid Company. Well, before the dilution, you own 10% of this company, of this Lucid Company, because if you divide 10 by 100, you own 10% of the company. However, if they go on to increase how many stocks and shares this company has from 100 to 200, and you still own your 10 shares, you no longer own 10% of the company, you only now own 5% of the company. And so this is how the stock dilution works. So you still have that $10 or whatever amount of money and amount of shares that you have. However, your ownership of the company decreases. It gets diluted. And so this is where it can get Lucid Motors into big problems. And so some of the good things is that they could be producing their company and making it grow. Bad news is if they abuse it, they could give this money to the CEO, the big employees, and they could definitely abuse this money. That's why it's a big toss-up, and that's I do understand why investors are fearful. This stock will definitely have some bumps in the road, I think, for this reason. However, July 13th, Lucid Motors does have a plan to talk to us about this. This is where this article comes in, and this was released one day after this dilution information was mentioned. So I don't know if this was planned by Lucid Motors or if this is just a reaction to some of the investors out there. But Lucid Motors and Churchill Capital will be hosting an investor call, but it will be a presentation style that will provide a business update, overview of the company, and also it will encourage CCIV shareholders to participate in this, and we'll see how and why. Investor call will be on Tuesday, July 13th at 1:30 Pacific Time, 4:30 Eastern Time. If you are in the United States, you can call this phone number and enter this conference code. If you're an international caller, the phone number is here. And let me zoom that in just so you can do it. I'll also post it below at the end of this video down below. And I did want to talk about the stock just real briefly. As you can see, in the past week, we've had a pretty red week. We've gone down a total of 9.14% in the past 5 days. However, we are, it looks like, still keeping at that base. As I have mentioned, we did crack the consolidation, the stability of CCIV stock, which was at $25, but on one day we did briefly dip down below that $25 mark to $23.97. But as soon as that happened, we bumped back up at $25. I still would see that this stock does have a $25 consolidation or a base. However, if you do put in some buy limit orders, you might be able to get this on a dip and to get a little bit better price. So where will this stock go? I believe that July 13th will be a big deciding factor. I think Lucid Motors' intention is ease the investors that are already in CCIV Lucid Motors stock is to ease their fears and to potentially get additional investors in the future by giving them an outlook on where the company will be going and its future projections. According to the Wallet Investor, the CCIV share price predictions, as of last Friday, it was trading at $25. 1 year forecast is at $46.78, and this is assuming that all the production vehicles, the Lucid Air Dream 577 vehicles, will be delivered, and that everything goes according to plan with Lucid Motors and its merger. Its 5-year forecast is about $130. Both of these have gone down probably in the past 1.5 weeks. Definitely will be interested in keeping an eye out on July 13th's presentation. So to conclude this, I am long term. I think Lucid is a long-term play for me in the future. This definitely has a big potential. Short term, I think it will be a little bit bumpy in the road. I think Lucid and CCIV presentation on July 13th hopefully will answer a lot of questions. Hopefully will ease a lot of the anxiety that investors have about any stock dilutions, and to tell us what their proposal is and where they're going to be using this money in the future. But again, it doesn't really signal bearish or bullish because we really don't know what the company is going to do with this. As I mentioned before, if they invested into the company, if they invested in production of the vehicles, if they invested in manufacturing, either growing plants outside of Arizona where they're currently building the Lucid Air, and also looking at other trim levels down the road, the Lucid Gravity will be coming out. If they could expedite that, make that a little bit quicker, I think this will be very good for the stock. So definitely July 13th is a big important day. Hopefully Lucid Motors has some really smart and brilliant people behind the company. A lot of the engineers have come from Tesla, have come from other manufacturing companies such as Audi, GM. They've also come from a lot of technology-based companies such as Apple, Samsung, Intel. So you have a lot of great minds behind this vehicle, behind this company. Personally, I think that they will do great, but we definitely have to see. And I think a lot of the questions will be answered on July 13th. Please give me your thoughts below on what you think about this stock and about this potential of dilution shares. Do you think it will happen, or do you think it's just there for Lucid Motors to have the ability to raise capital in the future? But let me know down below what you think. But thank you again so much for watching this video. Please give me a thumbs up or a like that you like this video to share it with others. Also, if you're new, comment down below that you've subscribed. Hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, hit all. And also, don't forget to share this video with your friends, your family, your coworkers, and that next door neighbor so we can get this channel growing. Again, thank you so much for all your support, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Take care. Down below, if you would like to help out the channel, I put 2 links. One's for Webull. If you open an account, deposit $100, you get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,850. If you deposit $100 into Coinbase, you get $10 of cryptocurrency and trading. Thank you for supporting the channel.